Hi, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate. We're in Penang, Malaysia, widely regarded as a food paradise. Today, we're going to tuck into a plate of fiery wok-tossed noodles coated in a spicy sambal sotong or squid. We're starving, let's eat.
I'm going to start off by eating the Mee Sotong. So mee is noodles, in this case a wheat noodle, so a yellow wheat noodle, and sotong is squid. So this will be a dry squid which has then been put into the sauce to make it, soften back up again. So really it's made up of the noodles, this beautiful red sauce that's all over the dish. There's some tofu, there's some spring onions just sprinkled over the top. There's some sprouts. It was incredible watching the dish being cooked in the huge wok. So this red sauce was in a huge tub, dumped all over these noodles in a really hot wok, so they were very quickly fried through the dish. It's come with a little bit of lime as well, which should be really juicy, so I will squeeze that all over the top. Yeah, there's so much juice in that. These limes in Malaysia are incredibly juicy, so a little bit goes a long way. Let's mix it all up, get that lime juice all over the dish. Oh, yum. It's got a really good, am I covered in it? I'm covered in it. It's got a really thick sauce on it, which is very spicy, but one of those really nice sharp spices. Let's try some more. So I've got some noodles, some squid, and some tofu. The squid has a really good squid flavor. I love that with dried squid because often the flavor of the squid is really strong. And I almost prefer it to fresh squid, which I sometimes can find almost a little bit bland. It's definitely not my favorite seafood, but in this dried form with all this sauce, it's really good. And I saw him when he was cooking, shaking in 2 bottles, which I think must have been soy and vinegar. And there is a slight vinegar taste to the dish. So it must be that, or like just that slight little tingle of vinegar, but really the chili is the biggest flavor. That spice, it's just this sharp, hot, not too lingering. It's hitting on the front of my tongue, so it's one of those really like spicy spices from a little chili, I'd say. This is a really good, well-rounded, really easy to eat dish. Not easy to eat in a practical sense, easy to eat in that it's just all there, all the flavors are together. You just put it in your mouth and you enjoy it. It's a really tasty dish.
So in addition to the Mee Sotong, we also ordered a Mee Rebus. And you can see it's got a lot of the same components as the fried noodles. So it's got the dried squid, it's got the yellow noodles, it's got tofu, I can see half a boiled egg, there's bean sprouts, there's spring onions. This here is a dough fritter, I think, but it's soaked up a lot of that gravy, so it's gone a bit soft. And there's also some onions. It differs in the sense that it's got this gravy. So this is a sweet potato gravy, and it's got a lot of spice, as you can see from the color of it. I'm going to squeeze that lime juice all over the dish and then give it a big old mix up. So both of these dishes are mamak style. Mamak refers to Indian Muslim cuisine, so it's halal. I'm just going to start by tasting the sweet potato gravy. Alright, so it's pretty fiery. In Malay, chili hot is pedas, so it's quite pedas. But it also has a really strong flavor of the sea, like it tastes like the ocean, tastes like seafood, which must be from that squid. I'm gonna give that squid a go and also some of those noodles. Right, let's just pop it in my gob. The noodles still have a bit of bite, which I love. There's that real crunch from the bean sprouts. What I thought was a bit of squid was actually the dough fritter, and it's actually just disintegrated in my mouth just because it soaked up all of that gravy. Let's give this squid a go. Wow. So there's still a lot of texture in that squid. It's sort of cut into quite thick strips, so it's still quite chewy but tender. And it adds a really great texture to the dish overall. I love the way that this dish is just a mashup of ingredients. It reminds me a little bit of rojak, which is a Malaysian salad, mamak rojak, which is made up of dough fritters, hard-boiled eggs, some tofu, and a peanut sauce. So this has sort of got the same ingredients with the tofu and the hard-boiled egg and the sauce and whatnot. The dish pretty much tastes the same in the sense that that gravy has just coated everything. But each ingredient also has its own distinctive flavour. So that tofu is quite soft and it tastes like tofu. It's not a tofu puff, so it hasn't soaked up all the juice. It's still like a piece of tofu. And then that egg is super creamy. This is a really satisfying dish.
I'm gonna give this Mee Rebus a try, which is the one Sheena just had, the more soupy one, well, saucy one. I've got some noodles, some squid, and some spring onion. It's all over me again. I really see what she means. It's got a much more sea taste. I really tasted a shellfish flavour. Just have some of the sauce by itself. Yeah, really shellfishy. This is very spicy too, like Sheena talked about. And then the noodles are soft again, but got a little bit of bite to them. The squid is beautiful. I also have a coconut shake that's going a treat with this spicy food.
Time to lay waste to this Mee Sotong. So I'm just going to grab a spoonful of noodles and some of that squid. It's a lot sweeter, I think, than the Mee Rebus. Let me have another bite. I find it really different to the Mee Rebus. So it's fiery, it's sweet, and the texture is a lot thicker because the sauce has just coated those noodles. And I think actually there's a bit of egg in here as well. Let me just taste it. Yeah, egg. What's really cool here in Malaysia is that a lot of the stalls that you eat at, or the more like hawker style local food, the kitchens are often open so you can watch the chefs at work. It's fascinating. It's my favorite type of food, just local fare. And I am so excited to be eating this Mee Sotong.
I've just cleaned up the plate of those fried noodles, and for me, they were totally the winner out of those two dishes. I like them both, but the Mee Sotong was just the winner for me. The flavors were brilliant, and I love this type of environment for eating in Malaysia, where you sit in these hawker centers and they're lined up with options. Some are much more Malay, some are much more Chinese, some just seem to have a mixture of all the different cuisines that you'll find in Malaysia, and they're just a great place to eat. And this one's beautiful. It's right by the ocean and in this park. It's got a cool sea breeze, but you'll find them in the cities, you'll find them in the smaller towns, you will find them everywhere, and they're a really cool place to eat when you're in Malaysia.
That was such a tasty, cheap lunch in Penang. We are loving it here, and we have got so much more food content to come. So remember to subscribe down below, and whilst you're down there, let us know if you've been to Penang in Malaysia and what types of food you love the best when you're visiting here. And if you're in Penang, if you live here, let us know where your favourite places are to eat. We would love to know. Pop a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. We hope we inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. We'll see you next time. Jumpa lagi.
Jumpa lagi.
Oh, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.